Hi, just a little bit of a thought for the day that's come from a few days ago when we were reading Exodus chapter 1. But I've got a question for you. When we think about the Israelites in Egypt, what kind of work do we think of them doing? Mostly we'll only have one answer in our mind. That is that they spent their entire slavery time making bricks and mortar. But as I read that chapter a few days ago, something caught my eye that I had never seen before, and I've read that chapter many, many times. In chapter 1 and verse 14 of Exodus, we are told that the Egyptians made the Israelites bitter with harsh labour in brick and mortar and in all kinds of work in the fields. So there was an entire group of Israelites in slavery that we'd never known about, working away in the fields. So all we've got in our mind are the slaves making bricks and making mortar. A whole group of people going on unnoticed. Now that's always the case in church life. There's the obvious upfront ministries of pastor and evangelist and teacher and musician and everything else. But there's a huge amount of work in ministry that's done behind the scenes that nobody notices. And quite often people doing those sort of works don't want to be up front and everybody noticing. They like to be in the background. But there's another group of people who find a bit of a struggle that what they are doing, the work they're doing, how hard they're working, is going unnoticed, possibly even not appreciated. Those Israelites working in the fields were vital for all the other Israelites making the bricks and mortar, because they were producing what could give food to keep the workforce going. So if you're feeling a bit left out or not noticed or marginalised or not appreciated, be sure that what you're doing is absolutely vital. You aren't unnoticed because God knows what you're doing. So long as you're doing what God has given you and called you to do, you are vital to the whole functioning of the church. Couldn't do it without you. He noticed those Israelites working in the fields because he's got it written in the scriptures for us to read about thousands of years later. For every one of us working away in the background, doing things that people don't notice, God sees it. What really matters is the heart, and if our heart is right, everything's right with God. Don't be discouraged, don't be downhearted about working away in the background, because what you're doing is vital and is an absolute blessing to the church.